Greetings, back with another one. It appears that the Last of Us show it has been doing well amongst people, especially for people call them the normies, I guess. For all of the people who did not play the games, they seem to be enjoying the show. But recently, spoiler for who haven't seen it or who doesn't know that it's coming, or it already happened from people's reactions that I've seen. But after losing Joel the way they did, I don't know. I think a lot of people are probably like tuned out, and some people are just sticking with it to see. Okay, let's just see where it goes. But I have no interest in watching the show because I played the games and I know what happened. So, and from what I heard, that Neil Druckmann, the director of the Naughty Dog, and from what he said, they're not making The Last of Us 3. Me personally, I think they should just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? Just finish the trilogy. Just finish it out. Go ahead and kill off Ellie in the third game. And then Abby can live happy happily ever after. And stuff like that. Just I think they just need to go ahead and finish it. Because for those who didn't play the second game, the way that it ends, Ellie just broken and distraught the way that she. I don't know. I think they should just finish it out. Finish it out. Because it seems that Naughty Dog, they just milk The Last of Us, the first game mostly, with all of these remasters and stuff like that, and then they make this show and stuff like that. They're trying to get everything they can out of this this IP. And the first game was considered one of the best games ever made. It's considered an all time great. And it's so sad because the second one, from a technical standpoint, the second one was great. It was a masterpiece from a technical standpoint. Naughty Dog is one of the best when it comes to from a technical standpoint. Their animations, their settings, just just everything. They are one of the best at it. If you go back and play the Uncharted games, what I'm saying. Obviously, if you play the first one to the last one, but they are just really really good at what they do. But it's just for some odd reason, the decisions that they made in the second game, it was very divisive. I won't flat out just say it was a terrible game because it did so well when it came to the gameplay. I was still invested in terms of the gameplay, even though Joel, getting written off the way that he did. And like I said, here's the thing: I can handle Joel dying. I really could. Because a buddy of mine, when we played the first game, we all kind of had our theories that Joel was probably not going to make it in the second game, just the way things kind of went. But the biggest insult to me was that we were forced to play with Abby, the person who ended Joel. I just could not believe that they forced us to play with her, and that was my biggest thing. I can handle Joel dying, but at least let me, like, personally, they should just did it towards the end of the game to set us up for the third game. But at least let me play with Ellie throughout the entire second game. I just don't. I just, for the life of me, I would never understand the decisions that they decided to make. They had something beautiful with the first game, the way things were set up, and that was the reason why we wanted. Excuse me. That was the reason why we all came back for more for the second game, because we was hoping to get more of that. And Naughty Dog just decided to go other way. And but yeah, I just wanted to touch up on this article here where it says you're going to mess the season up. The Last of Us showrunner reveals that the show's potential cancellation bothers him. Well, the game they only have two games. What, two games in what, how many years and stuff like that? Me personally, I wouldn't mind them making Last of Us spinoffs or Last of Us games that had nothing to do with Ellie and Joel. Because like I said, this is a post-apocalypse, right? Infected everywhere. They can make Last of Us games that show from other people's vantage points, from different perspectives, if they want to keep this going. But as far as the show, what more can you do? Like once they get all of the Abby stuff out of the way, what more can you do? Unless they just make something up, like normally what a lot of people do. But like I said, after you take out Joel and you see how the second game concludes, with Ellie and Abby and stuff like that, they're just gonna have to make stuff up. Because the game it was only two games. It's not like you got like 6 or 7 games to go off. You only got 2. So let me just get into this though, because like I said, I have not been watching the show. For those who enjoyed the show and who did not play the games, kudos to you. But I know a lot of us who played the games, we were just waiting just to see everybody's reaction when we lose Joel. But I just wanted to let me just get into this. The Last of Us showrunner Greg Mazin has made it clear that he will never compromise with storytelling, even if the show is on the verge of cancellation. Fair enough, you know what I mean. If you're a storyteller, you go down with the ship, I guess. Season 2 of HBO series Last of Us began with a bang and is based on the second game of the franchise of the same name, The Last of Us Part 2. The ongoing edition primarily focuses on Ellie avenging Joel's brutal death at the hands of Abby Anderson. As a result, she embarks on a journey to Seattle with Dina to find Abby and her group so she can kill them. Spoiler alert, she doesn't. The duo realizes that Abby and her group are now, like I said, I'm going to spoil for people. Like I said, if you're currently watching the show, don't click on this. You have been warned. Even though I've heard that they've made some changes on the show, there's some things that you do see in the game that you don't see on the show, and vice versa. So maybe things will end up different for the show. I don't know, but I'm just going by from what happened in the games. The duo realizes that Abby and her group are now a part of the Washington Liberation Front, which is being led by a man named Isaac Dixon, played by Jeffrey Riley. I don't see, like I said, Isaac. I don't even remember. Like I said, the last time I played Last of Us 2 is when it came out. I played one playthrough, and then I just played. I went back did some of the chapters so I could just upgrade all the weapons, and after that, I didn't play it anymore. I mean, I played the first game. I beat it like 5-6 times. I played the first one a lot, but the second game was just so long. I wouldn't mind if we played with Abby the whole time, but I just felt like it was just so insulting that we had to play with the person who took out Joel. Well, all I wanted to do was to take her out. And the thing about it, Abby's a fictional character, so my gripe is not with her. It's not her fault. It's Naughty Dog. They wrote it. So I just wish that they would, just like Angry Joe said it best, they didn't give us the payoff that was due, or at least give us the choice. I agree with when Angry Joe said that. At least give us the choice. Because the second game, it put you through so much torment, man. Because they try so hard to make you like Abby. Well, like I said, Nevi, if you're a diehard, Joel and Ellie combo, and you that's who you're rooting for, you're not gonna care about Abby. I didn't care about Abby and Manny and Owen and all those people. I didn't care about them. I really didn't. I mean, so it's just crazy. I mean, and I'll add in at the end. Let me just get through this. However, the introduction of his character and how he changed as a person shocked everyone, especially fans of the game. They're making changes there. Although his backstory hasn't been explored in a detailed manner, and fans would want to know why he joined the WLF. Mazin knows how to play his cards well and doesn't stuff the narrative with too much revelations, even if there are chances of the show getting canceled. That's funny. There's talks about getting the show canceled. And I don't want to sit there and say mainly because Joel died. But that's where I'm leaning to. I'm leaning towards that. I think a lot of people, like us who play the games, I think a lot of us were just taken away with that decision. And I think a lot of people who watch the show, I mean, it's a very divisive decision to make. I can't recall another game in gaming history where you have a protagonist in the first game, and then the second game you wipe them out, and then we're forced to play with the person who did it. I mean, this is like, take Gears of War for example. Marcus Phoenix, we all love Marcus, right? He's the protagonist of the Gears of War franchise, right? Imagine you play with Marcus in the first game, have fun, great, and then you go into the second game, Marcus gets taken out by Theron Guard, and then we got to play with the Theron Guard for like 5 hours. And then they're trying to get us to have so much empathy and sympathy for the Theron Guard. That's what it was like. I mean, Abby just came out of nowhere. Like I said, I get her motivation, but I don't care. I just don't care, because they made us love Joel and Ellie. That was the nucleus of the game. That's what made the first game so special, was the relationship between Ellie and Joel. Joel loses his daughter, right, and then he, is sworn to protect this young girl because she supposedly had, the cure for the infected and all that stuff. Not to say too much, but and like I said, and they embark on this journey of survival and comfort and stuff like that, and just finding solace with each other. Is that the word solace? You know, it was just such a beautiful thing. And when the second game, it feels like it's taunting you. What was her name? Boo Tedesco. She made a rant video about it. I still watch it to this day because I just love hearing people rant about. I love watching people just give their opinions and stuff like that as I do. But some people are a little bit more, you know, a little bit more blatant with this. I try to be as diplomatic as I can. I mean, I'm a very opinionated anyway, but I try to look at it from both sides. But it's hard though. It's hard though because like, I love Joe. I thought Joe was a wonderful character, and chances are I would have did the same thing that he did at the end of the first game. I would have, especially when the whole thing wasn't even guaranteed either. Doctors are supposed to do no harm, and they were willing to take the life of a child. Like I said. I mean, there I go again. But let me just get through this. While discussing the fourth episode, The Last of Us Season 2 on the podcast, host Troy Baker questioned Mazin about writing or shooting certain scenes. He asked if his writing process changes if there is a slight chance of the show not getting renewed for another season. The showrunner didn't shy away from giving a candid reply to the query and noted that he doesn't write defensively. Moreover, he explained that if he had written season 2 like that, he would have messed up on the entire season. No, no, no. You got to write with confidence. I mean, if you write defensively, just in case we get canceled, you're going to mess your season up. I can't imagine, the guys who are in the severance writing room going, just in case we got canceled, we should probably explain what the hell is going on here, Mason said during the podcast. So like I said, as a showrunner, I guess he has to, because like I said, trying to translate film from a game or film from a book, it's natural for writers to kind of like plug things in it that you don't see in the game to kind of like strengthen it out, kind of like to expand it, because the game, apart from the show, is probably straightforward compared to the game. You can get much dialogue more with the show because Last of Us is just game. It's just a between 7 to 10 hour game, but with the show you can do more. So it's natural for writers to put more into the story, to give it a little bit more depth. But I'm fine with it. But like I said, I just want to be, but because that decision that they made, that's probably why the show might not get picked up for a third season. For us who play the game, we probably don't care. But for the people who've been watching the show and enjoying it, it probably sucks for them. But on the other hand, the showrunner noted that it's okay to keep viewers in mystery and not tell them everything in first sight. I agree with that. I think we as an audience, especially as an American audience, we want everything spelled out. We worry so much about content. I mean, Alfred Hitchcock, he was right about that. We want everything spelled out. It seems to be. He added, so I mean, you got it. You get some answers, and there are a whole bunch of mysteries that get left. That's the way it ought to be. In this world, I mean, post-apocalypse, I mean, you can do anything that you want, really. I mean, there are no checks and balances. There's no laws. There's no nothing. So you can take this stuff anywhere. It's kind of like The Walking Dead, really. Post-apocalypse, walking, undead, infected walking around. There's so much you can do with it. Oh, man, the comments made by Mazin make it clear that certain things might get explored in the upcoming set of episodes. One storyline that fans might want to know more about is how Isaac makes his transition from a commanding officer in Fedra don't care about, to a leading with the man in that Deli Island. I don't even know if I want to read all this stuff because, like I said, Fedra, the scars. Because like I said, for those who didn't play the game, or for those who are not watching the show, The Last of Us 2, they introduced these. Because like I said, in the first one it was just the Fireflies, but in the second one they introduced these. Like these Fedra, these cannibalistic people that's in the wood, they call like the scars and stuff like that. They were like sacrificing people. It was just a weird bunch of people. I mean, it was like a fatal 4-way. It was like made like 5, I think. You had Ellie's crew, Abby's crew, but like the wolves. Like I said, it's been so long since I played. I forget it. Was Abby a part of the wolves? I can't remember. But you had all of these different factions and stuff like that. So it was just all over the place. But like I said, it was just so much stuff that we, as who loved the first one, we just didn't care about it. We just didn't care about all this stuff. But I can see why the show wants to broaden more of that instead of just keeping it focused on Ellie all the time, because Ellie and Joel's, going into the second one, obviously, Joel's gone. So Ellie and Dina, their relationship and everything they was going to is kind of linear the way that the game told it. Dina was with child by the Jesse guy. I don't know if Jesse made it into the show. I don't know. And then Ellie and Dana somehow ended up together and stuff like that. And because, like I said, it's just a revenge story. So it's not in depth in terms of motivation and stuff like that. So it was just revenge. Abby wanted her revenge, she got it, and Ellie wanted her revenge and she didn't get it. But man, like I said, maybe the show would do something differently. We don't know. Maybe the show might do something differently. But I guess I'll read this one about both people joining the WLF are a pivotal part of the storytelling. Isaac and that soldier were pretty similar in their thinking and cared for the people. But that happened and made Isaac so aggressive, and what changed that young soldier who might have wanted to save people. In a way, they are still saving their people from the infected and other groups, but the way they do it is extremely violent. Their transformation raises a haunting question: how far can compassion bend before it breaks into brutality? In the ashes of old loyalties, Isaac and the soldiers find purpose, but the cost of their humanity. This might be one of the most important narratives that markers will want to explore. However, Mazin wouldn't compromise with the storytelling and would explore these plot lines when it seemed necessarily for the show's narrative. The ending, episode 4 in Last of Us season 2, has made it clear that things are about to go from bad to worse for Ellie and Dina. A fight has broken out in Seattle between the affected and the WLF, which might turn out to be lethal for the duo as well. It would be interesting to see how the couple will navigate these challenges and take their revenge. It just, like I said, for someone who played the game, like, in terms of the end result, I don't see how far they're gonna go in terms of the result. I really think that the way the second game ended, they're gonna end it season 2 like that. I don't think they're gonna make too much of a drastic change in terms of the result. I think Ellie and Abby are still gonna have their bout, and Abby's gonna let her go. I mean, Ellie's gonna let her go, and because, like I said, in the game, Ellie, she has this new life with Dana and the kid and all that stuff, and it's just, man, like I said, I know I speak for a lot of people, man. All we cared about, and maybe we were spoiled because of it, but all we care about is the relationship between Joel and Ellie. That's all we really cared about. I mean, Tommy was cool. Bill, I don't know if they run into Bill on the show. I don't know, because we didn't see Bill in the second game. Maybe Bill made it back in the second season of the show. I don't know. But man, oh man, it's just, me personally, I thought they had the. I mean, to me, I thought it was just, they had the gall to make this into a show, especially what they did to us after the second game. So, but like I said, you're just expanding your audience though, so it's a smart business move for them. Yeah, we play the games, and what happened, but you get to expand your audience when you have people who watch the series and enjoy it. So, but yeah, man, like I said, like, all of us who play the game, we're just waiting, and I'm only watching just a few people as they're watching, the series and stuff like that, just to get their experience from their point of view and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I honestly think they should just go ahead and make a third game. I know Neil Druckmann said he didn't want to do it because I think they're working on that Galactic game. I don't know, but I think they should just go ahead and do it, man. Because like the way that the second game, and I don't really want it to end that way. I want some sort of ending where Ellie can kind of like somehow be happy or something like that. It just, I don't know. Like I said, just for the life of me, I will never understand why they decided to go that route. And from what I heard, because of all the leaks that came out before the second game launch, I didn't pay attention to any of the leaks. The only thing that I knew going in was that Joel died. That's all I knew. I didn't want to entertain the leaks and stuff like that because I still wanted to play the game and judge for myself. And like I said, the second game is not a bad game. It's not. You know, I mean, they did everything great when it comes to the combat and technical aspect and just the graphics and the movements and stuff. It's great from a technical standpoint. The story took a plunge a little bit, but I was still able to get through it because I was still rooting for Ellie. You know, yeah, we lost Joe, but I was still rooting for Ellie and Dana to have some sort of life and some sort of happiness and stuff like that. And it just sucks that everything that happened for Ellie in the second game, it just, I mean, Tommy and Ellie, they're broken. I just don't want the series to end that way. I really think that Naughty Dog just need to go ahead and make a third one and just close it out. But yeah, man, I just wanted to throw my hat into this Last of Us thing because I was a big fan of the series and stuff like that. I played it late. I didn't play it until they made the remastered version for PS4. I didn't play it on the PS3 because a buddy of mine he had it and I got the remastered version myself to play PS4. I loved it, and I can see why people beloved the first game the way that they did. I mean, it's up there with like The Witcher 3. You know, like those all time games that people like. The first Last of Us game was really revered in that way. It won a lot of awards and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm out, man. 31 cents at it. Another one for the archives. It's your brother Bleak signing out. Until next time, you guys. Us.